What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of stuff to talk about today, and you know what? I was going to do an intro. I was going to talk about things. So many things that I just want to get out to the world, like my reaction to all of the things, mostly the Marvel news. Now, I had it kind of set up to where I was going to talk about, the Lizzie McGuires and the Lady and the Tramps, and we'll get into all of those things, but today we are talking the Disney Plus live stream happening right now at the D23 convention. And as news comes, we will talk about it, but since I'm a few minutes late on this, we've already had some incredible breaking news. So some of you guys said it in the chat room, and I appreciate everyone in there talking right now. Let's talk about the shows announced officially for the Disney Plus streaming platform. We have Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, and the one that I'm so excited for, and that is Moon Knight, guys. Listen, and I've been saying this for quite a while. Moon Knight is a show that, or really a character that I've been wanting to see. I believe it was a couple of weeks ago when I did my what do I want to see most from the next phase in the MCU. I mentioned the fact that, maybe we could get a Moon Knight. And I even said, cast Keanu Reeves as Moon Knight, just because, Keanu Reeves is the best, but we have a confirmation. I mean, there's an official logo and everything. Moon Knight has been announced to, I guess, be a show on the Disney streaming platform, as well as She-Hulk, which is incredible, and Miss Marvel. Now, as far as I know, we don't have any casting news for these shows yet, but this is something that has me so excited, and we know they teased something big was coming for this streaming platform in terms of Marvel shows. And in my opinion, we have more than one massive thing. She-Hulk is probably what they were talking about, and I saw hints at maybe it's got something to do with the Hulk. And, you have the Universal issues, is are they going to allow the rights for the Hulk to be a movie or a show or whatever it is? But I'm so excited that we have the character of She-Hulk, who is someone that, you could base a movie around her, sure, but basing a show around that character is even better because you get more time to spend with her. And then you have a character in Moon Knight, which I think is perfect. I wanted to see him all the way back in the Netflix days when they were doing Daredevil and Punisher. That is a character for me that I think is absolutely perfect to have long, drawn-out episodes with, and yeah, I'm seeing in the chat, still no Spidey. We're probably not going to get a confirmation on that if they even mention it tomorrow, but all of this Marvel news has me really excited, and that's not even, these are probably the biggest things, what we've already talked about, but they also announced multiple things about multiple shows, and one thing that I found really intriguing is the fact that Kat Dennings, a.k.a. our girl from the Thor franchise, who hasn't been in a movie in quite a while, will actually be in WandaVision. Now, how's that going to work? I don't really know what purpose she's going to serve, but from everything that I've been seeing, all of the announcements being made about WandaVision, saying that they showed footage of past scenes with Scarlet Witch and the Vision spliced with the Dick Van Dyke Show, so the show is being described as a half-classic sitcom and half-epic Marvel Cinematic Universe adventure. And you have the casting of Kat Dennings, as well as a 50s and 60s, background music playing throughout the trailer. So what does all of this mean for that series? Some other news that really caught my eyes, that broke probably about 5 minutes before that, is news for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier television series. Wyatt Russell, now if you guys watched my fan cast video a couple of weeks ago, I said Wyatt Russell would be really good as the Thing in a potential Fantastic Four movie. Well, Wyatt Russell has been cast as U.S. Agent in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier television series, which is just, to me, perfect. Now, there were rumors a couple of years ago, Captain America is going to take over the mantle of U.S. Agent when he becomes bad in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. No, didn't happen. But Wyatt Russell is one of the better up-and-coming actors right now, and the fact that he's in the MCU is awesome, as well as the fact that Emily Van Camp is returning as Sharon Carter in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a.k.a., Peggy's niece. So, how's that gonna work? We don't know, but a lot of exciting casting news for all of these shows dropping. And then, of course, you have the new shows. And what I want to see in the chat room right now is which show are you guys... Hi, how you doing? What's up, chat room? Which shows are you guys most excited about for the streaming platform in general? But specifically, and that's how I kind of started off this video, the Marvel shows. And if you guys have a topic that you want me to talk about, you can do the super chat thing and we can make it its own segment of the show. But right now, I just kind of want to run through all of the news that we've been experiencing, taking in over the last few minutes. And as new news comes out, I will definitely kind of revert back to what's happening live. But I do want to get into a few of these things. So we had, of course, the Phineas and Ferb movie announcement, Candace Against the Universe. Now, I'm a big fan of this show. I like everything that it represents. And it is one that, you know, I went back to and visited recently. And the fact that we're getting a movie and more of, you know, in general, more of the Disney things that we love. But this one in particular is awesome to me. We also have an announcement, and, you know, this is not going to be something that makes everybody happy, but a lot of people are fans of Lizzie McGuire. And they did announce, and I believe it was one of the first things at the panel, that Lizzie McGuire is coming back. And we don't really know what the show is going to be about, but hey, more Lizzie McGuire on the streaming platform. Not the biggest piece of news of the night, but I figured I'd talk about it for just a second. And then, you guys know it, High School Musical, that's a thing that's coming back. The movies were fine. I mean, you know, they did exactly what they had to do. They had their audience, yada, yada, yada. I know you guys are probably here for the Marvel stuff, but I wanted to give those things a quick shout out because they were parts of the panel. And of course, we're getting Star Wars here in just a bit. Hey guys, by the way, this is all possible thanks to Wirecast. I appreciate it. Awesome streaming platform. If you guys ever want to live stream, stay tuned because over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing some cheaper versions of this program for you guys if you want to, you know, do the YouTubes, because the YouTubes is a fun things to do. And we also talked about one more thing, Monsters at Work, which is the new Pixar show. We also talked about the new Forky series, which, you know, I'm excited for that. Not as excited as Monsters at Work. What they pitched to be kind of this sequel to the first Monsters, Inc., because, you know, we got the second one was a prequel, but now we're getting to see what they're up to, and here's what I'm holding out for. I want to see more Boo, because I'm a big fan of Boo, and and that is a character, you know, that I fell in love with the first, and no, yeah, I'm seeing in the chat room right now, no Fantastic Four or X-Men yet, but keep in mind that this is just Disney Plus, right? The movie news, I have a feeling that's coming tomorrow. So let's kind of go back over to Marvel Studios and talk a bit more about what they announced since, you know, we haven't gotten any big stuff so far. And I'm looking in the chat room just to see what's going on there. Phase 5 stuff, missed out. We're not really talking heavily about movies at this point. This is just the Disney Plus, you know, all of the shows coming to that network. So we're kind of focused on Miss Marvel, which is, you know, really, really cool. They released the official logo for that, and Moon Knight and She-Hulk. Out of those three, obviously the one I'm most excited about is Moon Knight, but the one, that's my friend Devin. Hi, Devin. He's in the chat room. But the ones that really catch my eye are Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, because we kind of anticipated in this weird way a Moon Knight show. I didn't expect, especially She-Hulk because of the legal issues, I didn't expect She-Hulk or Miss Marvel. This was what Kevin Feige promised it to be, a big announcement. And I'm really, really excited about all three of these things. And I'm looking in the chat room just to see what you guys have to think. Which one are you more excited about? Which one captures your interest the most? And here's what I want to know next, and this will come eventually, but I just want to know, what is the timeline for these shows? Are they coming, you know, next year? Are they coming, whoa, hang on. Okay, we have another announcement. Now, this is Stargirl. What? I thought that was a Marvel announcement. What is Stargirl? It looks really sweet, though. But, thank you. You love my southern accent. That is very nice. But yeah, I just want to know which announcement has really captured your interest the most, and which one is, you know, out of Phase 4, and these are not going to be Phase 4, I'd say they're going to be pushed for Phase 5, but out of the next two phases in general, which one do you think will be the most successful, right? We have Loki, we have WandaVision, we have What If, which they actually premiered, and I've not even talked about this yet, they premiered kind of like a trailer for What If, and they brought Peggy Carter, my girl, out on stage, and Haley Atwell, and they just kind of talked about the voice cast and the talent returning, and everyone returning to their respective roles, except, of course, the What If show. They're not going to be doing what they've been doing in the MCU so far. They're going to be playing completely different roles in the universe as the same characters. And they did show footage of a few of these things. We know that they brought the writer-director of Loki out on stage. Loki is the one, to me, that I think could end up being the most creative, because we know he's going to travel through time, maybe different dimensions. He has the cube, so he really can do anything. And then they talked, of course, like I said, about Falcon and the Winter Soldier with the new cast members. So out of all of these things, even the new ones included, the one that I think could be the most creative, I'm going to say two. I'm going to say Loki and WandaVision, the most creative. I'm going to say What If could be the one that shocks people the most. I'm going to say Falcon and Winter Soldier is the one I'm most excited for, excluding the new shows, and I'm a little sad that we didn't get any major announcement for who is going to be our Moon Knight. Like I said, I'm a fan of Keanu Reeves. I saw a couple people in the chat. It's interesting when you're casting roles like this. Also, and this is interesting, reading the chat room, also, I haven't even talked about the fact that we have a couple of people in the chat. Hang on, Miss Marvel is a character, Moon Knight. All right, we have some interesting discussions. Yep, She-Hulk surprised me, absolutely. And definitely let me know your favorites. But we haven't even talked about the Kit Harington news yet. So Kit Harington, and this wasn't official. This hasn't come out of the panel. I am expecting this to be something that's hit on possibly tomorrow, because since they announced Kit Harington, since it was reportedly leaked that Kit Harington is joining the MCU, and they didn't mention it in the Marvel version, or the Marvel portion of this live stream, I have a feeling it's going to be in the movie portion, which is what we're going to get tomorrow. So any Spider-Man news, any Kit Harington news will probably be talked about tomorrow. My theory, my thoughts, is Kit Harington is either going to be the Kings of the North, is either going to be in the Eternals, and he's just another cast member, which would be nice, a little reuniting between cast members of Game of Thrones, or, and a lot of people are saying, it's just too obvious to me that he could be our Wolverine. Now, you think about it, is it too soon to cast a Wolverine? Is it too quick to come out and say, hey, this guy is going to be in our movie 5 years from now? Now, here's a good theory, and I'm reading the chat room right now. Kit Harington is Moon Knight. I would absolutely be up for Kit Harington as Moon Knight, because I do think he's a multifaceted actor. He's a multifaceted actor who can play something as, and I don't want to say convoluted, something as interesting as a Moon Knight, because as we know, he has multiple personalities. But Kit Harington is just so, and I didn't even mention it, as Wolverine, he could work so well as Wolverine. He could work so well. I don't know why I didn't think of it in my Fancast video. I don't know why everyone's not like, oh, this is automatic. If they cast him as anyone else, I would be absolutely okay with that. But to me, that casting would be awesome, because he's got the size, he's got the kind of the shape, he's a buff, he could be a burly dude, he owns the beard in Game of Thrones. So here's what I want to know in the chat room. Who do you think, and that's a good one as well, Nova, he could be an awesome Nova. Who do you think Kit Harington is going to be? I don't think he's going to be relegated to someone in the background. If he is in the Eternals, I think he could be the main villain. Otherwise, I think he's going to be a major hero. You have to get this guy to be a major part of your universe if you're going to get him. And I know we've went away from all of the live stream things happening, but I want to get back into what the heck is going on at the Disney Plus panel, because that's really why we're here. All right, so we have some trailers. So we have a trailer for Kristen Bell's Encore. That seems cute. Like I said, a Stargirl film. Ooh, Disney, that's nice. Now, we did get a trailer for The World According to Jeff Goldblum, which I'm really excited about. If you guys don't know who Jeff Goldblum is, everybody knows who Jeff Goldblum is, but he is absolutely a character that deserves his own show, deserves his own this and that. Don't know why I clicked on the Patreon thing. Let's go back to this one. But I don't really know what this show is all about, but it is 12 episodes long. The fact that this guy can have a 12-episode series and he's really being headlined. The trailer that dropped a little bit ago, the D23 trailer, had him at the forefront, as well as a Pixar and a Disney and a Marvel, so this could be a flagship show for Disney+, and I think a lot of people who are fans of him as an actor could absolutely be on board. Now, not to move on a bit too quickly, but the reason why a lot of people are anticipating what's going to happen next is because the Star Wars portion of this live stream is coming up very soon. Right now, we're in the midst of talking about, here's your Jeff Goldblums. We've got his show coming out. Of course, the High School Musicals, The Lady and the Tramps. It's sweet. And then whatever this is, I saw this poster come out. I'm like, that could be sweet. But the majority of the people are here to talk about Star Wars. So I want to get into kind of predicting where we're going to go and what we're going to get from this Mandalorian trailer, because the Mandalorian trailer is coming tonight. That has basically been confirmed. I'm so excited for this show, guys. More than really anything from this entire panel. And listen, I got fired up when I saw the Moon Knight news, and Miss Marvel's great, She-Hulk is great. But The Mandalorian is at this point going to be the tide that really shifts this entire streaming platform. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? We don't know at this point, but we think this is going to be the one that really gets everyone on the platform. Now, I also want them to talk a bit about Obi-Wan. I would also like them to talk a bit about Clone Wars. All of these things are coming, of course. But The Mandalorian is the one that we're going to get the very first. My friends are all texting me. They're in a group chat. They're saying, I'm live streaming on YouTube. Y'all can tune in if you want. But this is the one that is going to get people really on board for this entire platform. Now, we did get the cast of the Lady and the Tramp movie coming out on stage officially to talk about the movie, so we're probably going to get the first trailer very soon. Now, not for sure if I'm going to react to this trailer or not on YouTube. There we go. This is actually a sweet bit of news. So all of the dogs used in Lady and the Tramp are rescue dogs who have now found homes. And me being a new dog owner, very, very sweet. That's awesome news. And this cast is great as well. I mean, you have Valkyrie, our girl. You have a handful of people coming in and lending their voices. The poster for me, I saw the poster, it's fine. It's nothing I'm getting too excited for, but maybe the trailer comes out and it changed my mind. We have a super chat, something I want to address. Thank you, Andy. You're the man. So apparently the new MCU shows are Phase 4. Interesting. They showed a slide with all 8 show names labeled Phase 4. Do you think 8 shows in one phase is overdoing it? Andy, great question, man. That's interesting. I'm not for sure, because when you're talking about Marvel, it's been so spread out through the years, and they've been putting out consistently, I'm not going to say top-notch content, but really good content to great content, right? When you cram so many movies, and we saw from the panel a couple of weeks ago that, the Phase 4 movies and the Phase 4 shows, it's in a span of 2 years. So you're cramming all of those things into 2 years. And now, according to what Andy said, and Andy, thank you for letting me know that, man, but I can't confirm that. I haven't seen that. But if that is the case, I absolutely believe maybe 8 shows is overdoing it. Do you think Captain Marvel likes me? Maybe, Sam. I'm not for sure. But I do believe, and listen, I'm a big MCU guy. I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I love everything that they represent. But maybe 8 shows is overdoing it. It's a lot. It's a lot of content. And because everything's so connected at this point, with a WandaVision, with a Loki, with, WandaVision, like they said, is going to move straight into Doctor Strange 3, the fact that all of these things are interspliced within each other, you may have some really casual fans, and not to say that everyone here is a casual fan, but they may be a bit lost if they're not keeping up, if they miss just one of the 8 shows. So that's an interesting argument to maybe people who don't love the MCU, and maybe people who aren't on board with the fact that they're doing so many things, and now they're adding in all of these new characters with the Moon Knight, with the She-Hulk, with the this and that. And yeah, I mean, it is, I'm going to admit, it is a lot. Now, we have suffered, and am I going to bring it up? I'm going to bring it up. At this point, we have suffered the loss of a character in Spider-Man, so that's one less character. Still don't like talking about that. We're going to figure that out tomorrow because I guarantee the panel is going to at least address it. You know, Kevin Feige, he's not getting away with not addressing the fact that Spider-Man is no longer part of his universe. But it's still a lot of characters you have to deal with. And we've not even mentioned the Fantastic Four and the X-Men and the this and the that. And I just got a notification that the Lady and the Tramp trailer came out. So we're going to watch that after I get done with this. We're going to see if it measures up. But back to Marvel. Yeah, it's a lot, Andy. And that's a great question. Taking a look in the chat room, acknowledging the fact that I did talk about Spidey. Sorry, I had to do it. It really sucks. Deadpool, you know, interesting. You know, like I said, Fox, you've got properties we haven't even hit on. What's going to happen with Deadpool? Is that going to be Phase 4? I doubt it. I think they're going to wait, but how long are you willing to wait with Ryan Reynolds sitting on the sidelines? Because we know that Kevin Feige has control of everything now, right? He can do with the X-Men what he wants. Whether he places them in the MCU or not, he will X-Men, but talking strictly Deadpool, everyone's saying Deadpool's got to be rated R, Deadpool's got to be rated R. If Deadpool is in the MCU, it's going to be very difficult, just with the tone that they've established, making him rated R compared to rated PG-13. We just got a super chat from Samuel Prater. Take your shirt off. Well, Sam, don't want to get taken down, man, because people don't want to see that. And YouTube's going to see that, and they're going to be like, that's bad content, but I appreciate the super chat, Sam. I don't know Sam. I do know Sam. He's messing with me. Is he messing with me? He's probably serious about taking my shirt off. Regardless, but it's a super chat. I have to address it. Regardless, I do think the fact that they've waited so long to announce what they're going to do with Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, I think it's scaring a lot of people. It is kind of scaring me. And the fact that we got a tease of the X-Men is great, but then again, you have the best part of the X-Men just, you know, sitting in the corner of the ring, waiting to come out, waiting to fight his fight, and they still haven't told the fans. And here's what I want. I just want transparency. I want to know exactly what's going down with Spider-Man. I want to know exactly what's going down with Deadpool. I just want them to tell us. And you guys saw my rant video the other day. I was so upset with what happened with Spider-Man, and that's before we knew all of the information. I didn't even know at the time about the 50-50 Disney split and all of that. I'm going to blame both studios. Listen, you're adults. Sit down, talk it out, because whatever happens with that situation, unless we get Spider-Man back in the information, or in the universe with the information that we know about him so far, the fans are going to lose. And we don't want that. We don't want to lose. We want to see new Spider-Man with all the characters, and we got the cliffhanger in Far From Home, and my goodness, guys, if we don't get to capitalize on that, I'm going to be really upset, because that was an awesome cliffhanger, and hey, we got one of our characters back. That's a spoiler for that movie, so I don't want to say what it is. All right, let's take a look in the chat room, just see what everyone is talking about, and give me 1 second. Okay, so we've got the trailer for Lady and the Tramp, which is great. So here is a logo for Willem Dafoe's Togo, The Untold True Story. All right, I don't know what that is, but it sounds interesting. Willem Dafoe is having a fantastic year at this point, so I'm interested to see what that's going to be. Is it a documentary? Is he going to be narrating it? Is it a show? I don't know. I'm not there. But I'm going to take a look at the chats and the super chat real quick just to see what everyone's talking about, because we are literally at this point. We're just kind of sitting and waiting for the Star Wars news to drop. Honestly, I want to see Ewan McGregor walk out on that stage and talk about Obi-Wan. That's what I want to see. If somebody can find a live stream for me, that'd be great, because I was looking for one. That's why I decided to come on here and talk about everything. So we have a super chat from Rocky. Thank you, Rocky, so much. Venom and Spider-Man teaming up in Venom 2. I dig it. All right, so this is a great, fantastic point. I do dig that. I would be lying if I said I didn't dig it, because I've always wanted to see Venom and Spider-Man team up. I really have. But the Spider-Man that we have established so far is the MCU is so integral to his backstory. To me, it just wouldn't make a lot of sense. Now, if he somehow left this universe in a Spider-Verse situation, that would be great, but the movies can't reference anything about the MCU if the deal doesn't go through. Of course, it's still not 100% guaranteed. So how he gets from point A to point B is what really kind of throws me off here. I would be okay with that. Listen, if we can't have Spider-Man in the MCU, we're going to get Spider-Man and Venom. It's just going to happen. If Sony has the rights, they're not going to pass the opportunity up to pair a Tom Hardy with a Tom Holland. My big issue here is, how do we get there? What's the journey? What's the path traveled? If you guys have any answers for me or any ideas of how they go about that, that would be awesome. But at this point, we just don't know. I know I went on a rant, went on a tirade. We're literally at this point just kind of sitting here and waiting for Star Wars news to drop, and it's not coming yet. Let's take a look at the chat room. Oh, I love this. I love this. Doc Ray Montgomery as Adam Warlock. It's random, but I really dig it. Live check. Please address the YouTube algorithm. Okay, affected your channel. Ooh, that's an interesting... Yeah, there have been a lot of changes on YouTube recently, and it definitely has affected my channel, but that's a topic that we can dive into another day. Can we have She-Hulk represent Spider-Man, please? I mean, they are connected in certain stories in the comic books, so that would be interesting. Because she does come in and break the... I like that. I think Deadpool would be a good character to do it as well. It's like, hey, what happened to Spider-Man, fellas? And everybody's like, who? It's a lot of things that they're going to have to figure out at this point. All right, let's check on news and see if anything else has dropped. You know, at some point in the next few minutes, we have to start getting some Star Wars news. Now, as soon as that happens, I'm going to break away from this. I'm going to talk about it, of course, but when that Mandalorian trailer comes out, I got to break away and I got to do a separate trailer reaction. So I'm very excited about, like I said, the panel. If you guys are just joining in, we're kind of just sitting and waiting on Star Wars news to drop. If you want me to run through all of the news one more time, I will do that. Not seeing any like super chat topics. We're kind of running out of things to talk about at this point. So let's run through what we've gotten so far out of this D23 Disney Plus Livestream panel. So first off, we got some, well, let's talk about Lizzie McGuire. So we got some Lizzie McGuire news. She's coming back. She's coming to the Disney streaming platform. Then we got some High School Musical. Came out on stage, threw t-shirts out to the crowd. All right, that was interesting. We're going to skip a bit of time and talk about Jeff Goldblum, which came after all of the Marvel information. He's getting his own, multiple episode, I guess it's a docuseries at this point, but Jeff Goldblum, he is quite the character, so I'm excited to see that. We also got announcements that, the Disney Vault, all of the Pixar films, I would say the majority of the Marvel films, they're going to pull everything out of Netflix and out of all of the locations that they are at, and they're going to place literally everything, along with every episode of The Simpsons, on this platform. So, not even counting all of the original shows, when that drops, you're going to have so many hours of content to go back, to revisit, to talk about. I mean, it's a lot of things, and we've not even hit on the originals yet, right? And then, getting back to the new stuff, we got Phineas and Ferb, the movie, Candace Against the Universe. I grew up with Phineas and Ferb. It's a nice show. It's a nice show that's worth revisiting, and the fact that they're bringing that back makes me look at that and go, you know what? Maybe they're going to bring back other things. Gravity Falls, anyone? I'm a big Gravity Falls fan. And then we get into all of the Marvel announcements, and they announced, multiple castings of people. We've got Kat Dennings returning to WandaVision, and then they announced that WandaVision is going to be kind of a pseudo comedy / drama series with 1950s and 60s vibes. I find that extremely interesting. Then they showed a trailer for Disney Plus's What If, which is awesome, and I didn't see the trailer, obviously, but all of the reactions that I saw on Twitter said this could be one of the cooler things that the MCU has ever done. Falcon and Winter Soldier news. We've got Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son. Daddy's in the MCU. The son is now in the MCU, coming over to this show and playing a very interesting and intriguing character. And those are basically, then of course, we talked about Loki a little bit, but we didn't get any news, any information. I think they showed a quick thing of footage for Loki, but we didn't get too much. Now, let's talk about, real quick, we've got some super chats that I want to hit on. Samurai, man, you are just one of my favorite people on YouTube. Thank you so much for that super chat. Then our next super chat is from Orange Grape Juice. Austin, your shirt is fire. Where'd you get that from? Well, I appreciate that. I actually got this, and I'm not going to lie to you guys and say it was expensive. I got this from Target the other day. It was $12.99. It was super cheap. I just got it. It's a brand new shirt. Ferris Bueller is one of my all-time favorite shows. It is probably in my top 10 movies of all time, not comedies. So as soon as I saw the shirt, I actually had to decide between this and a Dunder Mifflin shirt, and I ended up like doing rock, paper, scissors in my head because it's the hardest decision I've ever had to make. But I will probably be going back and getting the Dunder Mifflin shirt at some point because you can't pass up Ferris Bueller. The next super chat is from Film Chris. Film Chris, thank you. Will we see a Black Widow trailer or footage? Yes. Now, before we get any more super chats, before we're talking about Bree, I want to reference Bree, somebody that I know. Who is Kit Harington going to be? I'm hoping he's going to be Wolverine. That's what I hope. That would be awesome. But Black Widow trailer and footage. So tomorrow they have this giant Disney panel where they're going to make all of the announcements for, whether it's a Pixar or a Disney animated movie or a Marvel, possibly some Star Wars. I don't think we're going to get a trailer, but we're probably going to get like a behind the scenes kind of deal with Star Wars. But tomorrow, here's what I expect. I expect some, maybe not all, some clarification on the Spider-Man issue between Sony and Disney. All right. I expect a Black Widow trailer. I do. And even if we don't get to see it, they'll get to see it, and it may leak some. We don't know. And then, as someone just mentioned in the chat, I expect Kit Harington to them to reveal who he's going to play in the MCU. Whether it is, if he was going to be Moon Knight, I think they would have announced it today. And who knows? Kevin Feige could still come out on stage and announce that. A lot of people are saying Wolverine. I would be okay if he was Wolverine. That would be awesome. But he could also be, a Nova. He could be an Adam Warlock. There are so many flagship characters he could play. Or, as some people were speculating, he could be a villain in the Eternals. So many things that he could be. But all of those things, I think, are going to be announced tomorrow. And I believe the time is 10 a.m. Pacific time. Therefore, might be doing a live stream on the Marvel portion, not for sure yet, but I'm really excited to see what we get because every single year Marvel seems to deliver at D23, and already, just today's, live stream during the Disney Plus stuff, we got She-Hulk confirmation, we got Moon Knight, we got so many awesome announcements, Miss Marvel, which is one that I'm also excited about. And they also said, and they made it very clear, and I've not even mentioned this yet, that all three of those characters will not just stay in their respective shows. They are going to be everywhere. They're going to be all over the MCU, in the movies and the shows, and all of those things, to me, are extremely excited. We've got a lot of people talking in the chat right now. Go see Blinded by the Light. Love Blinded by the Light. Here we go. Rocky again. Rocky the man. React to the Joker trailer 2 dropping on August 30th. August, man, I'm going to write that down. All right, hang on. August, I've got to mark that date in my calendar. And it is done. Okay, we're going to be reacting to the Joker 2 trailer. That's really exciting. Don't know where that news came from. If it's not true, here we go. Okay, so what time the announcement's happening? So right now, guys, literally all we're doing at this point is we are waiting on Star Wars news. I am waiting on this guy to walk out on stage. That's what I'm waiting for. I truly believe that we're going to get some sort of Obi-Wan confirmation today. Ooh, now what is this? Okay, here we go. So we've got some Star Wars news coming out. So we've got the Skywalker saga. We're talking movies. Somebody just posted a picture. Star Wars Renaissance. Okay, this is more theme park things, but that does mean that the official Star Wars announcements have started to come. And I'm just going to stick around until we get some, hopefully some breaking news, hopefully some Obi-Wan confirmation over the next few minutes. But if there's anything that you guys want to talk about, be sure to let me know in that chat room. Really excited. Also, just back to the Joker thing real quick. It was announced that it's going to be R-rated, which is exciting. And according to the chat, Alex Lopez, thank you, sir, the Star Wars panel has begun. So right now, we are just kind of sitting back and waiting to see what confirmation we get. Now, while I was talking and going on a tangent, pretty much, we did get a little bit of news. If you guys are fans of, and I don't have a picture for this, if you guys are fans of the Muppets, we got some Muppets news. We are getting, the Muppet Studio has announced Muppets Now for Disney Plus. Don't know what that is exactly, but I assume it's some sort of show and they are returning, which is really, really excited. So here we go. Confirmation. Celebrity guest stars. Oh, that is awesome. And it is going to be a show listen, I'm a fan of the Muppets. I grew up with these characters, and I actually really enjoyed the first live-action movie. Didn't see the second one in the 2000s, but it is a franchise that I do think Disney Plus is absolutely perfect for it to premiere on. And our first bit of Star Wars news is that Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7 will premiere February 2020. Do have a picture for that. Guys, I am such a fan of this show. Went back and rewatched the final 2 seasons. It was a couple of months ago when they first kind of announced that this was going to happen. But it is a show for me that just, it intrigues me. It excites me. We're going to get the proper finale. Now, if you guys, my friends in the chat room, thank you guys. If you guys have, watched this show, if you know anything about it, here, if you don't know about Star Wars The Clone Wars, find this show, make sure that you get caught up before February 2020, because it is, in my opinion, one of the best things that Lucasfilm has ever done. It started out, and I was a bit worried, and even the animated movie wasn't a big fan of. But then we get this series, and we really get to dive deep into Anakin, and it honestly made me appreciate the prequels more. And that's a hard thing to do, because certain elements about the prequels, not the biggest fan of a few of the movies, but I do love Revenge of the Sith, elements of Revenge of the Sith, and those elements were kind of carried out in Star Wars The Clone Wars, so I am very excited to see that return and to see what Disney Plus is going to do. And they have released a new still. Okay, got a little Darth Maul tease, which is exciting. If you guys want to find all of these things, I'm finding it through @DiscussingFilm on Twitter. If you want to see all of the screen captures and the screenshots going out. Couldn't find a live stream on YouTube. I did find one for a bit, but it got taken down, and I'm honestly afraid to kind of showcase that on this channel. But I am excited to see where this series in particular goes. And we also have confirmation that Diego Luna and Alan Tudyk come out and take the stage for the brand new Star Wars show, Cassian Andor. Now, Cassian Andor, of course, we know him from Star Wars Rogue One, a very interesting character. Now, spoilers for a movie that came out a few years ago. We know how his story ends, but this is going to be a prequel of how his story begins, and hopefully it's going to showcase his relationship with K2SO a bit more. The fact that Alan Tudyk is on stage, the guy who played K2SO, and his voice acting career is absolutely incredible, but their chemistry in that movie in particular was just fantastic. And it's a random show to make, but it is one that I'm excited for, just because it's a side of the Star Wars universe that's going to be interesting to explore. This is a character, Cassian Andor, who, he's got good in him, for sure, but he's got a bit of good and a bit of bad as well. So I'm excited to see the exploration of his character in this show, and I'm excited to see what it's all about. We do have another tweet now. So Diego Luna teases a title for Cassian Andor, leaves the mystery to be unraveled for another day. So they are actually starting filming for Cassian Andor in 2020, which means we probably won't get the show until the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021. And what are they making room for? I don't know. Maybe it's Obi-Wan. Maybe I'm just going to talk about the Obi-Wans. I don't know. I'm excited for Obi-Wan if we get that. But we also know that we're getting that Mandalorian trailer, and that's kind of the entire reason why we're still here. And that's it. Next up is the Mandalorian. Now, when they drop this, guys, I may miss out on some Obi-Wan news. I'm actually going to cut off this live stream. We've talked about pretty much everything. If you guys have anything else you want me to talk about, get in that chat room. Let me know specifically, but let's see what they announce about The Mandalorian. And then as soon as the trailer drops, I'm going to be cutting off the live stream, and I'm going to immediately go do a trailer reaction, because I don't know, man. The fact that trailer is coming out, and I won't be watching it immediately, kind of hurts my soul. So I do want to watch it and see what happens. So let's see what's going on in the chat before we get any more special announcements. I have some people saying Sam and Devin are really funny. Sam, Devin, what y'all saying in that chat room? Just... y'all insane. All right, so Charlize Theron as She-Hulk very interesting. Not opposed. That would be cool. Edward Norton, Bruce Willis, Alec Baldwin, Motherless Brooklyn. Yeah, great trailer. Really excited for that. Mandalorian panel has begun. Yeah, at this point, we're kind of waiting to see what happens in that panel. Got people talking about, we got all kinds of stuff happening in the chat room, but we did have some people in the chat saying how much they loved Clone Wars. Yeah, I mean, guys, it's a show. It really is. It's the first time that I found Star Wars could kind of transition out of the live action movies and do different things, you know. I had read some of the novels, but, you know, the fact that it's now the extended universe, it's not canon anymore, it's not as exciting. Clone Wars is canon. And the fact that they're making another season it's canon, it counts, it's exactly what fans want. So I do hope that this show is as good as it was and it gives us the proper finale. Now, an update on all of the Mandalorian stuff. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have taken the stage to discuss The Mandalorian. We're almost there, guys, almost to the end of this video. The fact that Dave Filoni, who knows Star Wars, I think better than anyone else knows Star Wars. We talked about the Clone Wars. We're talking about literally anything outside of the live-action movies. Dave Filoni has rocked. I mean, the guy he knows character development, and he really does. It holds a special place in his heart. So the fact that you have him teaming up with one of my favorite directors in the business, Jon Favreau, regardless of what you thought about The Lion King, I had no issues with the direction. I had no issues with all of his decision-making. There were other things that I wasn't the biggest fan of, but those two teaming up to take on this series is awesome. I mean, and they have like Taika Waititi coming in as a director, multiple people coming in doing different episodes. You have, the cast is incredible. The Mandalorian, I've been saying it, guys, this could be a Game of Thrones quality, the first few seasons level show, and this could be one that really just brings everyone in, and then the other shows coming out, they're just going to pile on top of each other. What'd y'all do? Grapes! Somebody said say grapes in the chat. I love y'all, I swear I do. So now, at this point, guys, we're going to wrap this video up because we're literally just sitting here waiting on the Mandalorian trailer. May not get Obi-Wan confirmation. I was extremely... I almost knew that we were going to get it, but we haven't gotten it yet. They're probably saving it for the end. So once we get Obi-Wan confirmation, you guys get on Twitter, @TheBurkinator, tweet at me like crazy, and just be like, Obi-Wan, what do you think? What's happening? If it is, if we do get a reveal about when it's going to be set and more information, and heck, if we get some kind of teaser for at least the title card, I may do a separate video. But I appreciate all of you guys tuning in. I know a lot of people probably came in here looking for me to actually, show the live stream. But, that's not something that YouTube allows you to do. And I appreciate all of the views, all of the questions, everyone in the chat room. I truly appreciate you guys tuning in. And hey, the main announcements tomorrow, we just got a question in the chat. What time are those going to be? So as far as I know, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which means 1 o'clock Eastern time. Did I get the math right? 11, 12, 1. Yep. 1 o'clock Eastern time, they're going to be doing those announcements. So who knows? I may do another live stream. If you guys want that, let me know. And I would love to talk about all of those things. I appreciate literally all of you guys for asking questions. If you have any more questions, please let me know before we end this stream. You guys are truly the best. Thank you for letting me do this Wirecast. What an incredible program. And hey, before you guys go, I do have a Patreon page. This week we've been pushing out 1 or 2 things a day. We're doing podcast live streams. I'm actually working with a couple of my patrons on a collab podcast. And then tonight we're doing a live fantasy football draft on that page. So many exciting things happening over there. If you guys want to go check that out, you absolutely can. You guys are truly the absolute best. Love you all so much. Love talking Marvel, Star Wars. Do I like grapes? Yeah, I like grapes. I love grapes. Thank you guys. I'll see you very soon.